Pocket shawls are so amazing. You get the benefit of a warm, cuddly wrap plus the ever-beloved pocket, two actually. So today you're gonna learn how to crochet this one. You are in for a treat today. We have had loads of requests over the years for pocket shawls, so here you go. This pocket shawl is named Shawl and it was designed by Patricia Leifeld. She named it after her friend who wanted the perfect pocket shawl, but since Patricia couldn't find the perfect pattern, she designed this gorgeous version for her. This pattern is perfect for giving away, as who wouldn't love a shawl, especially one with pockets. I also think it's perfect for transitional weather as we move into the fall season and the temperatures start to drop a little bit. It's just gonna give you a little bit of warmth and you can store all your little doodads in those pockets. And this pattern is beginner friendly, so if you can crochet chains, single crochets, and double crochets, you can make this. For this pattern, we used 5 skeins of our shimmering and ever popular Pearlescent Worsted weight yarn. It is so soft and so glowy. If you would love to download this pattern and get the yarn, head to expressionfiberarts.com. We're also gonna put the direct links in the description box for you. And while you're there on the site, go ahead and sign up for email updates so you get notified of our new free pattern. We're gonna learn how to crochet this beautiful texture for the body, how to work this ribbing all along the border of the shawl, as well as how to make and attach the pocket. So go ahead and grab some yarn and a hook and let's jump on in. We're gonna be starting with the body of the shawl today. I'm gonna go ahead and start with a slip knot and a chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you're gonna have a lot more chains. I'm just showing you a small version today. So for row number 1, we are gonna work in the back loops only. So turn your little chain around and you're gonna work into the little bumps that are on the back of your chain. So go ahead and skip the very first one and you're going to work into the bump on the back of the next chain and just work a single crochet. Jump over to the next little bump, single crochet into that. And you're just going to continue working all the way down your chain until you've worked a single crochet into each one of those little bumps. So just continue working your single crochets all the way down until you've got a row of single crochets, and then I'll show you how to work row 2. For row 2, you're going to turn and you're going to start with a beginning double crochet 2 together. So to do that, just start with a chain 2 and then work a double crochet into that very first stitch. And that's all there is to that. Then across your row, you're going to repeat chain 1, skip the next stitch, and work double crochet 2 together into the next stitch. So to do that, just insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, insert into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then when you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So continue repeating that across. Chain 1, skip 1, work the double crochet 2 together into the next stitch. This creates a fun little texture. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet 2 together in the next stitch. And you're just going to repeat that all the way down your row. Again, you're going to have a lot more stitches than I do. And just finish by working that into your final stitch on the edge. For row 3, you're going to turn and start with a chain 1. And then you're just going to work a single crochet into the very first stitch and into each stitch across. So go ahead and work into the top of those double crochet 2 togethers and into the chain 1s until you have a single crochet in each stitch. These are nice and easy rows. Make sure you work into that final stitch, and there's row 3. Then you're going to just repeat rows 2 and 3 as mentioned in the pattern for the remainder of the body of the shawl. So be sure to check the pattern for that. So I've worked another couple rows and you can see how your little double crochet 2 togethers stack on top of each other in your pattern. Now we're going to be working an establishing row all around our shawl, so you will be all set up to work the ribbing that you see all along the edge. For this row, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and you should be looking at the right side of your project. So you're going to single crochet into the first stitch and into each stitch all the way across this part of your shawl. So when you've worked all the way across, you're going to place a marker into that last stitch that you just worked and go ahead and pop this in there. Now you're going to go ahead and turn, and you're going to work along this edge here, and you're going to single crochet the number of times that the pattern states. I'm just going to work 7. This needs to be an odd number if you have adjusted the width. Now you're going to place a stitch marker, you're going to turn again, you're going to single crochet in the beginning stitch of this chained row here. Basically what we're doing is working single crochets, the setup for the ribbing. And you're going to place a stitch marker into the last single crochet worked. You will have a stitch marker in each of the corner stitches, and that's going to make your life easier when you get to working the ribbing. Now you're going to work an even number across this row, so I'm going to do 6. Of course, check the pattern for the exact number if you're following the pattern exactly as written. 1, 2, and 6. Put a stitch marker into the final stitch. Then you're going to join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet that you worked on this round. So here's the body of your shawl. Yours will be much bigger. You should have single crochets going all the way around your shawl with a stitch marker in each corner. Now here's how you work this beautiful ribbing all along the border. For the ribbing, you're going to go ahead and start with a chain 6, 4, 5, 6, and you're going to work a single crochet into the second chain from your hook and into the next 4 stitches as well. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you should have 5 single crochets kind of sticking off of your project like that. Then you're going to slip stitch into the same stitch as the beginning chain along the top of your shawl. So just work a little slip stitch through both loops of that, and you're going to slip stitch through both loops of the next stitch on your shawl. For row 2, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn, because we're going to work back up this little row of single crochets. So in the back loops only, so kind of twist this around, you're going to work single crochets all the way up to the edge. So I like to count. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to start here, and in the back loop, work a single crochet, work a single crochet, boop. So you should have 4 worked into the back loop, and then on the final one you're going to single crochet through both loops. For row 3, you're going to chain 1, and I've already turned, so we can go back down this row. So you're going to single crochet into the first stitch, making sure you're working through both loops of that first stitch. And then kind of turn around a little bit, and into the back loops only, you're going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches. There's 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And then you're going to slip stitch through both loops of the next 2 single crochets on the top of your shawl. So go ahead and grab both loops, slip stitch, go ahead over to the next stitch, and slip stitch into that one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat rows 2 and 3 until I reach my corner, and then I'll show you how to turn the corner. I'm getting close to the corner, so I'm just going to finish up this row 2, working into the back loops only of those first 4 single crochets, and then the final stitch is single crochet into both loops of that final single crochet. So now for the next row, we're going to go ahead and start turning our corner. So you're going to want to chain 1 and single crochet into the first stitch, and then into the back loops only, just like you've been doing. Work a single crochet into the next 4 stitches, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to go ahead and slip stitch through both loops of that marked stitch. And don't remove your marker yet. Now you're going to repeat row 2. So go ahead and chain 1 and turn. 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and work into the back loops only. Single crochet into the next 4, 2, 3, 4, and through both loops of that final stitch. Now we're going to start working our ribbing along this side of the shawl. So to do that, you're going to start with a chain 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're going to go ahead and skip that very first chain, and you're going to work a single crochet into each of the remaining 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to slip stitch into the back loop only of the first and second stitch right here. So back loops only, slip stitch into the first one and into the second one. For row 2, you're going to go ahead and turn, and we're working back up this little row here that we just created. So chain 1, and then working in the back loops only, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to work into the next 4 single crochets. So work a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then work a single crochet through both loops of that final stitch. For row 3, turn, start with a chain 1, go ahead and single crochet into that very first stitch, and then into the back loops of the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then into the back loops only, you're going to slip stitch into those next 2 stitches here along the edge. So slip stitch into the next stitch and slip stitch into the back loop of the next stitch. For row 4, you just repeat row 2, so go ahead and turn and chain 1. Working into the back loops only, you're going to work a single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, and 4, and then a single crochet through both loops of that final stitch. For row 5, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to single crochet through both loops of that first stitch, and then go ahead and work a single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches into the back loops only. 2, 3, 4. Now into the back loop only, we're going to slip stitch. So jump all the way over here. So this row 2 that we worked along this edge, you're going to be slip stitching into the back loop only of that final stitch there. So work a slip stitch into that, and you're going to slip stitch into the marked stitch, which is right here. So go ahead and do that, slip stitch, and then you're good to go to remove your marker. For row 6, you're just going to repeat row 2. So chain 1 and turn, and working in the back loops only, work 4 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, and work through both loops of that final stitch. For row 7, you're going to chain 1 and turn, single crochet into the first stitch, and into the back loop only of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're going to slip stitch into both loops of the next 2 stitches on your shawl. So slip stitch through both loops of this stitch and slip stitch through both loops of this stitch. Then you're going to repeat rows 6 and 7 up through and including the marked stitch. So we've worked along this side of our shawl, and you can see how beautifully this corner turns, and you start working down this way. Once you finish that, you are all ready to make your pocket. For our pockets, and we're going to make 2, go ahead and start with a slip knot, and you're going to work some chains. So I'm going to chain 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you're going to have a lot more for the actual sized pockets. Go ahead and turn, and you're going to work into those little back bumps again, so ignore that little first one, and you're going to work a single crochet into that second bump. There's one, and go ahead and work a single crochet into each of the bumps all the way down your chain. For row 2, we're going to go ahead and turn, start with a chain 1, and you're just going to work a single crochet into each stitch across. So just make sure you're counting as you form your little pocket, that you're getting the same number of stitches all the way across, so you end up with a nice little rectangle instead of a triangle. And there's row 2. So just continue repeating row 2 as mentioned in the pattern to form the bulk of your pocket. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish up on this row. you should have a nice little rectangle and you're ready to move into the next row on your pocket. For row 31, we're going to go ahead and turn, and you're going to work your beginning double crochet 2 together. So start with a chain 2 and just double crochet into that first stitch. Now you're going to chain 1 and skip the next stitch, and you're going to work a double crochet 2 together in that next stitch, just like we did for the body of our shawl. So you know how to do this already. So there's our little double crochet 2 together, and just repeat that across your pocket. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet 2 together into that next stitch, boop, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet 2 together. And there you go with that beautiful little texture again. For row 32, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're just going to single crochet into each stitch across. And again, this is the same as when we were working the body of our shawl, so it should feel really familiar. Just work a single crochet into each of those double crochet 2 togethers and into each chain 1. Next, you're going to work the ribbing for your pocket. For the ribbing for the pockets, you're going to start with a chain 4, 3, 4, and you're going to single crochet into the second chain from your hook and a single crochet into each of the next 2 chains. Then you're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet here on your pocket and slip stitch into the second single crochet as well. So that's row 1. For row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to go ahead and jump over to the little back loops of these stitches here, and you're going to work 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then a single crochet through both loops of that final stitch. For row 3, just chain 1 and turn. Then you're going to single crochet into the first stitch and into the back loops only of the next 2 stitches. Single crochet, single crochet, and then you're going to slip stitch through both loops of each of the next 2 stitches. So go ahead and insert your hook and slip stitch into the next stitch and into the next one. Then you're going to repeat the ribbing across the top of your pocket by repeating rows 2 and 3, ending with row 2. So here's my little tiny pocket. Yours is going to be much bigger and it will be more well proportioned, obviously, but you've got the little single crochet body, the fun little textured stitch mimicking the body of the shawl, and then your ribbing. Now you are ready to fasten off your yarn, leaving a nice long tail so that you have plenty to seam your pockets to your actual shawl. So today I'm going to show you how to work the surface crochet technique, which is so gorgeous and it's nice and sturdy, so you'll be able to carry all kinds of doodads in those pockets. So I've made a little miniature shawl here. Obviously I didn't put the border on the edge, and a little square pocket just so I have the nice right shape of a pocket. So I'm going to show you how to seam this. Now this is not necessary, but it can be helpful if you can line up the edges of your pocket with these single crochet rows here on your shawl. It'll just make a little bit sturdier of a seam. So to seam up the 3 sides of your pocket, I'm going to show you the surface crochet technique. You're going to have a long tail on your actual color, but I'm going to use a contrasting color just so you can see the seaming really easily. So go ahead and pull up your yarn from underneath. Now this is super simple. You're just going to jump over to your next stitch, and you're going to grab the yarn from underneath, and you're just going to pull it through like a slip stitch. Look how easy that is. Jump over to the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull it up through, and just work a slip stitch. That is it, and you're going to continue repeating that along the 3 sides of your pocket. If you like, you can go ahead and use some opening stitch markers and secure your pocket to your shawl so that it's not shifting around while you're doing this. Totally up to you. So you can see how absolutely gorgeous this seam is. It is very sturdy. Your pocket is not going anywhere. So then you're good to go to clip that end and weave in your ends on the back. So there you go. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you in making the real deal. I hope this pocket shawl keeps you warm and cozy all fall and winter. All right, I'm gonna see you next week with another new pattern. Bye-bye.